Prashant sir,
Yeah, cool.
I can that you can see that the recording pop up on the screen.
Not yet, sir. Yes, there is in the left top corner.
Yes, yes, right, right. Okay.
Mm.
And kindly admit everybody who is joining the meeting through the link,
Okay,
because
okay,
a pop-up window will be show on your screen. Okay,
okay,
by default,
okay, okay.
I disable all the mic for the all the user.
All the luminaries joined in this lecture. All the teachers are requested to put their video on. So it'll become a video conference instead of an audio visual conference.
Yes, that will be wonderful if all the teachers put on their camera. It will look lively and in better.
It's inspirational to the professor who will talk, to see so many people live listening to him.
Prashant Shukla sir has opened his camera. Thank you, sir. You have set the tone positive. Daksharaj ma'am also. We are really thankful to these people. Chief guest, sir has also joined us.
Where is he? I want to. Oh, I see him there. Okay.
Sir, okay. Pandey sir,
नमस्कार
pranam.
धीरेन्द्र जी को मेरा अभिवादन स्वीकार हो.
धीरेन्द्र सर अपना आप कैमरा माइक ऑन करें.
सर, आप हम लोग के गार्जियन हैं, आपको चरण स्पर्श प्रणाम.
यशस्वी भव. Okay.
Has principal sir joined us? I think not yet.
Well, let me see. आप उनको बुलाइए शुभम जी. He was
Yes, sir.
very busy. We have been busy all day.
Okay, I am calling. I am calling.
Are there any students going to join?
Yes, a link has been sent to the class groups. There will definitely, few will definitely join us.
Okay.
Although I can't see any of
I
them
don't
yet.
see any student here. I only see teachers.
Yes,
That's okay.
so far no
Principal sir is
student
joining.
I see.
Sir, principal sir is joining after 5 minutes. He is joining.
Is the new Sanskrit teacher going to join, Deepak Saraswat?
Sir, I don't have idea about him. I think principal sir will be the right person to say anything regarding this.
No, Shubham Sani, could you invite Deepak Saraswat?
No, sir. Basically, I don't have the idea because a new teacher has come today for the making the new user ID and password. That is Rishabh Ganguly, and I made the user ID and password and invited for the join the meeting. But I don't have the idea for the new teacher, sir.
Okay. It would have been nice to have our new Sanskrit teacher to join our English lecture.
Obviously, sir, that would be nice.
Okay. This is the time now. Go ahead and start. It's 9:31 in America and 7:01 in Varanasi.
Yes, sir. Stella, ma'am, please proceed.
Yes, sir. Okay. Good evening, Honorable President, sir, Manager, ma'am, Academic Advisor, ma'am, Principal, sir, Vice Principal, sir, HM, ma'am, and all the teachers. I, Stella Sharma, warmly welcome you all in today's Atmanirbhar Bharat Lecture Series 2025. Today, we all are gathered here to talk about Nobel Prize winner of 2024, Han Kang. Along with that, we will also be talking about another prominent Nobel Prize winner, Ernest Hemingway. It is my honor to introduce our chief guest for today, Dr. Dhirenj Kumar Pandey, Assistant Professor, Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth. He has been Assistant Professor in Harishchandra PG College from 2009 to 2024. He has specialization in linguistics and translation and also done research on Indian Western and aesthetics. He has published 7 papers in international journals and is a renowned astrologer and Vastuvid. Also, the director of Kashika Jyotish Anusandhan Kendra. We are truly grateful for your presence here. Speaker for today's lecture is Mr. Prashant Malviya, PGT English, International Hindu School. To set the tone for this wonderful event, I humbly invite our President Sir to kindly give consent to commence this program. Over to you, sir.
Whom are you calling to
Sir,
start?
I'm
yourself.
inviting you to start to give consent to start this program.
Okay. I'm very happy to be part of this now very important lecture series of Nobel Prize winners. We have been doing this for several years now, and each subject which gets the Nobel Prize, we have a lecture on that topic explaining what is the importance of that Nobel Prize on the general population. And unless the general population gets to know what's new, what's going to change, this is very important. So I want to take a minute to highlight a few points. What is the importance? Why are we holding this Nobel Prize lecture series at International Hindu School? It is important because it aligns the school's mission of combining modern education with deep cultural and ethical values. Also, fostering global awareness and critical thinking among students. In other words, we don't want our teachers and students to be Koop Mandoops. There is no fun in being a Koop Mandoop. So we inspire excellence by highlighting something like a Nobel Prize with academic rigor. Nobel laureates are recognized for groundbreaking contributions and have conferred the greatest benefit to the mankind. Nobel Prize winner committee says, inviting them or their experts to speak and inspire students to pursue excellence in their studies, research, and careers, showing that sustained effort, original thinking, ethical purpose can lead to transformative achievements. The second important point is we are connecting with the global ideas, with the local values. We are today going to connect English with Sanskrit. How about that? As seen in Banaras Hindu University's Lecture Nobel Series, speaker often draws parallels between past and present thinkers, thinking global themes like democracy, peace, and progress. At IHS, such events can help students see how Hindu philosophical and ethical traditions can engage with contemporary global changes, fostering a bridge between tradition and being modern. The third point is Nobel lectures often explore complex interdisciplinary topics by exposing students to the Nobel lectures often explore complex interdisciplinary topics. By exposing students to these discussions, IHS can nurture critical thinking, empathy, and a sense of global responsibility. Number 4, strengthening the school's identity and community engagement, because we will be posting the recording of all these lectures on the social media. So we get connected with the world, essentially. Hosting such a series positions IHS as a thought leader in the community, attracting alumni, parents, and educators. It also creates opportunities for intergenerational dialogue, whose students can learn from experts and share their own perspective. The last, but not the least, point is aligning this school's holistic mission. Our school has a holistic mission, it's different. IHS vision emphasizes academic excellence meets the deep understanding of cultural values and traditions. A Nobel lecture series embodies this by integrating academic achievement with moral and ethical reflections. We are very fortunate today to find somebody who will connect the Nobel Prize winners with the winners of Sanskrit excellence. There are many Sanskrit recognition prizes in India, we'd like to see the connection. I'm just curious, what about those who get Sanskrit recognition? And I welcome you, Professor Dhirendra Kumar Pandey. Hope to meet you sometimes in future. Thank you. Over to Prashant Malvi.
Thank you, Honorable President, sir. I'm going to share my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone?
No?
Not yet. Just a minute.
Now it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So as most of the things our President sir has told what is this series all about. That this series is started last year, and we are going to talk about today is about English Nobel laureate of English literature, which was backed by Han Kang in 2024, and along with Han Kang's achievement and her laurels, we will also be talking about another prominent scholar of 20th century, Ernest Hemingway. And he received Nobel Prize in 1954. So I have taken some stories from both these prominent Nobel laureates. I'll be talking about them in sequence. So as you can see, literature is the mirror of human soul. You all will agree with this short yet very meaningful line. And Han Kang, she is from South Korea, and she was awarded Nobel Prize because of her vast work in the 2 decades, starting from 2000 onwards. Is my screen visible to everyone, or it has vanished?
It has. Now it's
Okay,
showing in
thank
the
you.
bottom. Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you. This is the citation which was printed in her honor. This award was given to her for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life. The works she has done, which made her famous across the world, are listed here on the screen. You can see they are The Vegetarian, Human Acts, The White Book, and Greek Lessons. And the concept of historical trauma is the undercurrent in all these four novels created by her. She has been very rich in terms of childhood experiences because her own father was also a professor and writer. So she developed a flair for language and philosophy through a very early childhood. Now let's talk about key themes, what are there in Han Kang's work. They are historical trauma, human fragility, and she has also brought connection between body and soul. I will talk about them in detail in forthcoming slides. The major works that made her world famous was The Vegetarian. This book was given International Booker Prize. And another important work by her is Human Acts. This work was also selected for International Dublin Literary Award. She also got a prize Prix Medicis Étranger for her another work, We Do Not Part. That was the recent work she composed in, and she was given award for that in 2023. Because of her work, she was not only herself, but the entire South Korea got a global platform. People got to know that literature is not only confined to America and Europe and England, but even Eastern countries can also play very powerfully in this domain. So new generations writer and readers, they have got inspiration after seeing Han Kang from her own land. So her work has brought the connection between Eastern and Western literary traditions. Now what's there in The Vegetarian? uh, you can guess it slightly. Like South Korea, you will understand that is totally a carnivorous country. They prefer non-vegetarian diets all the time. But this was a lady. Through the characters, the main character in this novel is Yong Hai. That's a lady, and she by profession she is a graphic designer, and you will be astounded to know that she has not spoken anything throughout the novel. The novel is divided in three parts. And in the first part, it talks only about Yonghai, her husband, and whatever resistance she has put up in front of her husband. And symbolically, she has put up a resistance against the society in multiple ways. She wanted a freedom. She wanted freedom from the violence. She wanted to raise her concern against patriarchy. She has talked about mental health and bodily autonomy. Means all these things she had spoken, and uh, in a very powerful way, but being silent. The story revolves around a woman whose decision to stop eating meat becomes a powerful act of resistance against social norms and family control. So she has not suddenly taken this decision. Actually, she was having a nightmare for many weeks. She was having night in her nightmare. She was having a lot of violence, bloodshed, killing of animals, and cry and shouts of human beings. And ultimately, she decided one early in the morning, in the wee hours of the night at 3 and 4 a.m., she got up and she was standing in her kitchen. She opened the door of a refrigerator and she threw all the meat products on the floor. And when it was the time for her husband to go to office in the morning, he was looking for breakfast. He found that nothing was prepared, and he was pissed about the behavior of his wife, but she didn't say anything. And this continued for many days. Whenever he would return in the evening, hoping for a wholesome non-vegetarian diet, he would get only vegetable soups and something like kind of products. So it has created a furor not only for her husband but also for her entire blood relatives, including her father, her mother, brother, and sisters. They were all awestruck at what is happening with her daughter, why she has taken such an extreme step in her life. So I'll talk more about it slightly. Let's have a look on what is there in the slide. So it is divided into three interconnected parts, and each narrated by a different character closely related to the protagonist. So Yong Hai is the protagonist here, she's the heroine. Through these shifting perspectives, the reader never hears the heroine's voice directly, emphasizing her silence and isolation. Now, it's important that to mention why isolation was important. Whenever she was done with her household chores, she would prefer doing novel reading or extra reading, graphic designing work from home in from a 2 BHK house, and she wouldn't go out. And for many months, after a few months of observance of a vegetarian diet, she she resolved not to raise voice or be violent in any way towards anyone. Even she was categorically called by her husband and family members that she is not mentally sound. They took her to a hospital for the treatment. Ah, this was the scenario. But it they these attempt by the family members did not bother her at all. Even they had tied their limbs on a chair and forcefully put pieces of meat into her mouth, but that too resulted in no no effect later on. So in a way, at the end of the first part, it was seen that she was out of the mental hospital in a very liberal sense. She has become a complete stoic kind of lady. It did not bother her at all what was in the surrounding. Even she did not wear a piece of cloth on her body, and she moved boldly without a single pinch of bother into the park. So that was the end of the past, and there are so many other things in the part 2 and part 3. They are about the Mongolian birthmark, and second part is also about the sister. So I'll not go into those things. What is more important and relevant now to talk about the historical traumas that are the undercurrent in all her famous novels. that brought her into the spotlight at world platform. So what are the historical traumas? Let's see, they are listed here on the screen. The first was Guangzhou uprising that occurred in 1980, where the citizens of Guangzhou city protested against military dictatorship. And the army brutally cracked down and killed hundreds of civilians. So that disturbed, that disturbed the peace and harmony in the people of South Korea. Further, before, in her books, she has talked about in her books like The Human Act, The Vegetarian, she shows how trauma gets passed to survivors, families, and even the next generation who didn't directly experience it. Further back in the timeline, there was Korean War that spread from 1950 to 1953, and that led to the national division. What we see today as a different, sovereign entities like North Korea and South Korea, they are the product of that Korean War. And Korea was also once a colony of Japan that is spread for the span of through the span 1910 to 1945. So they tried to erase the Korean culture, its language, but the writer has not directly talked about in her novels about them, but through the characters, she has been vocal about these concerns. It is quite relatable. Like even we understand the traumas when Pakistan got separated from India in 1947. East Pakistan, which is Bangladesh, also got separated. There were, Kashmiri Pandits from Kashmir. They were evacuated forcefully and they settled somewhere in Delhi. So they all are relatable incidents of, historical traumas. Korea also faced certain censorship, torture, and disappearances. People were scared to speak about. She focuses on how this violence made people numb and how bodies remember trauma even when history books don't. This is quite important line. I would like to repeat it. She focuses on how this violence made people numb and how bodies remember trauma even when history books don't. Now, there are sometimes attempts to change and modify history through books that need to be taken. But the literature is that source which tries to keep the things of history intact. And there are two important takeaway lines from her novel. I would like to speak out them like, I do not act, I do not speak, I only remember. I do not act, I do not speak, I only remember. She says that literature's job is to remember what a country tried to forget. You can have a look on the literary angles of these novels. She has raised concern against patriarchy and control. Body autonomy means a person is free to profess and practice what discipline he has interest into about his body, whether want a slim, bulky, or health. What are the health preferences? That should not be forceful from the society side, but that should be only governed by a person individual preferences. Mental illness, silence as a resistance that turned out to be a very powerful tool of resistance, especially in the vegetarian novel. Violence beneath social norms. This we can say that uh, family is a setup of a society, very small unit of a society, and when her own blood relatives, her father, brother, and mother, sisters couldn't come to terms with her resolve, they became violent. They couldn't respect her freedom, and they couldn't put themselves in sync with her ideas, what she wanted, without hurting anyone. Her narrative style is quite calm, minimal, and emotionally intense. Disturbing events described in simple language and symbolism used instead of direct explanation. This symbolism is definitely used off and on in this novel. I read the vegetarian novel and the Greek lessons in January month, and I had experienced what the kind of symbolism she has used. That's all about Han Kang's work. Now let's talk about Ernest Hemingway, a very powerful writer, illustrious writer of America. He bagged Nobel Prize in 1954, and he wrote one of his famous work like The Old Man and Sea and A Farewell to Arms. They become, over the night bestsellers. And that's a novel actually. The Old Man and the Sea is a novella. That's a very short form of novel. I would like to talk about what's there in The Old Man and the Sea. So, I'm quite happy that our president sir is already familiar with this story because this novel's name was suggested by me. So I read that and I prepared this slide on this. So, sir, this story is about a fisherman Santiago who is being challenged by the situation, and the challenge was for 84 consecutive days he was not able to catch a single fish, which is a daily chores of these fishermen. So he was badly criticized among the community members in his village, and but he didn't give up. He continued his effort and venture. He went farther into the deeper sea, and after a continuous effort of 84 days, he happened to capture in his hook a giant marlin fish, and he was happy. He was carrying it back towards the shore, but situation was not in his favor. The circumstances were not in his favor. A group of sharks attacked that big marlin fish, and they all eaten up. By the time he reached on the shore, he found that he was left with only the skeletons of that giant fish. So he was mocked also, but the ultimate thing was he was not defeated. Morally, he was on a very high status, and he was very satisfied. So that's a spirit, the warrior spirit, the fighting spirit. We must not give up at our aims and purpose as long as possible. So the takeaway line from this famous novel is, "But man is not made for defeat. A man can be destroyed but not defeated." And Hemingway was also a journalist. So he has adopted very austere style of writing in which he uses less words, but those words are quite heavy in terms of meaning and broader and wider in terms of connotations. Now, that term is called in literature the iceberg theory, also known as minimalist prose. And this Santiago, the hero of that novella, is being termed as code hero because the figure demonstrates a great level of grace, honor, and endurance under immense pressure. And I think that's all from my side about these Nobel awardees and their work. And thank you everyone for giving your attention and time. I would like to now thank you everyone, and over to you, Stella, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative talk. Now I request our chief guest, Dr. Dhirendra Kumar Pandey, to share his thoughts. Sir, I invite you.
Okay. Am I audible to you all?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मां विद्युषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. Good evening to one and all present in this online platform. Honorable President of International Hindu School and our guardian, Dr. S.K. Misra sir, Principal Mr. Santosh Tiwari sir, my brother, my friend, and renowned English teacher of International Hindu School, Prashant Malviya sir, and the teachers and scholars of International Hindu School. I am very happy that it is the first time Santosh Tiwari sir is listening to me. Prashant Malvi sir has listened many times. We had a very good connections, but it is the first time I am speaking and he is listening. And
It's my pleasure. Please continue.
and we get permanent blessing by our S.K. Misra sir. Actually, what the summary of both the writers, Prashant Malvi sir has already presented. What the philosophical approaches of these studies, I am just going to present before you. It is said that literature is the mirror of society. Why it is called mirror? Because it reflects what happens. What I think that literature is also an art where effect is created through language. Language plays a very important role. How your approaches are there, how you use your sentences, and what type of thought you have presented in your writing, it is shown in literature. What happens in the society, what will happen in the society, and what happened in the society. We get all the records in literature. This is why T.S. Eliot, I am just going to quote T.S. Eliot, who has given one theory of objective correlative. Objective correlative means it shows the power of literature where past, present, and future, these three periods are blended with one another. Why? Because literature has power to show. But it is necessary to understand the real meaning, what the writer wants to say. From our childhood, we know after the completion of our lesson, it is mentioned what is the moral lessons we have got after the completion of the lesson. So we know what are the moral lessons. So it is necessary for all the teachers to teach literature in the class and to tell them what are the moral lessons they have found from the lessons. This is why if anyone asks you a question, why are you reading literature? The same question is asked by someone to Tulsidas, and Tulsidas replied, Swanta Sukhaya Tulsi Raghunath Gatha. The literature is Gatha, literature is Katha. And why we are reading? Why we are teaching to others? Because it provides the permanent pleasures. This is why I understand that there are two aspirations of man: continuous happiness and prosperity. Why the protagonist is happy to avoid meat? Because she gets happiness not to eat meat. So the same thing happens here, that literature gives you the pleasure. And two aspirations are there, we know, that is continuous happiness and prosperity. And both the aspirations will be got by you if you are happy, if you get permanent pleasure. And permanent pleasure can be gained if you study literature. I am very happy that such type of lecture series has been scheduled by International Hindu School. You must know that literature provides a way where you get pleasure. It is a journey from education to pleasure. This is why it is said, Vidya dadati vinayam विनयाद्याति पात्रताम पात्रत्वात् धनमाप्नोति धनात् धर्म ततः सुखम. It is a journey from education to pleasure. And in journey, there are too many steps. What type of steps? If you study the literature, you know what to do, what not to do. Literature gives you idea that what is good for you, what is bad for you. And this is why it gives you Vinasilata, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. And if you have Vinasilata, you feel yourself that I am eligible. Vidya Dadati Vinayam, Vinyadyati Patratam. And if you are eligible, Patratva Dhanam Apnoti. You will earn money when you are eligible. Sir, I want to draw your attention here that while taking the interview of English nowadays, even the teachers who are going to teach in intermediate level, even they do not know how to read ABCD. They are not eligible. I am not, teachers are listening to me, they can understand. In one interview, I was the chairperson. I am just going to share my story. And there were 129 candidates. It is the story of Agrasen Intermediate College. And I raised a question to all the teachers to tell ABCD. And they were reading F, L, M. Even though they do not know what are vowel sounds and what are consonant sounds. And in this way, if you are just going to teach in intermediate level, and people are asking what is M? M is vowel or consonant? So don't reply. You must tell that you must use M. After that, I will reply that it is vowel or it is consonant. I want to draw your attention that eligibility is necessary. And literature makes you eligible. Vidya dadati vinayam vinyadyati patratam patratavad dhanmapnoti. If you are eligible, you will earn money. आज भी जिसके पास ज्ञान है, पैसा उसके आगे पीछे घूमता है, बटोरने वाले लोग कम है. और क्या? विद्या ददाति विनयम विनयाद्याति पात्रताम पात्रत्वात् धनमाप्नोति धना धर्म. If you have money, you will accept your religion. You will do religious work by money. हमारे शास्त्रों में लिखा गया है धन की 3 गतियां होती हैं. दानम भोगो नाशः त्रिस्त्रो गतयो भवन्ति वितस्य यो न ददाति न भुक्ते तस्य तृतीया गतिर्भवति. And so धन धन्य प्रथम गति जाकी. And what is the pratham gati of your richness, your wealth? That is dan, that is charity. Dana dharma tatah sukham. So how do you get pleasure? You get pleasure from reading the real literature. So it is a journey from education to pleasure. So it is necessary to teach literature and to teach the moral lessons and the summary of the lesson, what is depicted by the writer in the lesson. Because I told you many times that literature gives you the power of analysis. It gives you the power of interpretation. It gives you the power of evaluation. I am just going to quote a story of Shakespeare. You have studied Hamlet. In Hamlet, tragedy happens because Hamlet studied too much. In contrast to Hamlet, we study Macbeth. Macbeth never went to school, so tragedy happens. Ati sarvatra barjat. He studied more, so he meets with his tragedy, and Macbeth studies less, so he meets with his tragedy. So what we have to do? Literature gives us power to think over the matter, to interpret the ideas, to evaluate. It gives us idea what to do, what not to do. Prashant sir discussed about the protagonist, that finally she decided to be silent. Silence is also a type of observation. It is a type of idea in which we find out that if people are not in position to listen to me, it is good for us to be silent. And observing silence is also a type of tap, tap in our Hindu religion, in our Sanatan Paddhati, you know. And this mute conversation happens in our religion, you know. I am just going to quote a story of Kalidas. There is a story of Kalidas and Vidotama, and they made conversation with each other in mute way. But what is the symbols? What is the use of symbol? It depends on you to understand.
Yes.
In the vegetarian, what the protagonist wants to say, I understand that she says ahimsa paramo dharma. But no one has quoted. They have got fault in protagonist, and they say that she was not right. But I understand that she was right. If you are leading your life in proper way, you have to accept your dharma. And what is your param dharma? She said in the novel. She said ahimsa paramo dharma. This is why she stopped eating meat. And she made other members of the family to stop eating meat. So we have to understand the real meaning of dharma. And literature provides us power to understand. Vidotama understands Kalidas and his symbols. Kalidas indicates one finger, Vidotama, and wants to say that God is only one. Kalidas understands, Kalidas समझते मेरा एक आंख फोड़ देगी. He indicates two fingers. You may understand the symbol is the same, but understanding is different. Okay? Yeah. All the scholars are understanding what the Vidotama present the symbols. If she is indicating one finger, all the scholars understand Vidotama wants to say that God is one.
Yes.
But only one Kalidas is there who understand that one means he's just going to puncture my one eye. Symbol can be analyzed according to your own way. So what are the symbol presented by the कहा जाता है जहां न पहुंचे रवि वहां पहुंचे कवि. It is the work of critic that he is an examiner, he is an interpreter, he is an evaluator also. He interprets according to his own way. So how I am interpreting the vegetarian, that the lady was just going to accept your religion. And it is in superlative degree, paramo dharma. It is param word is used. And what is paramo dharma? That is ahimsa. So what is the real meaning of literature? And what do you understand? What is written in your book? What is given in your chapters? You all know. But what the new idea you are just going to generate and you are just going to deliver your lecture before the student, it is important. So, literature is very important. It builds empathy, help readers to understand different cultures also, emotions also. Guru sis badhir andh kar lekha, ek n sunahi ek nahi dekha. You understand this theory. That what I am just going to teach, and the students are not learning the lessons. What I am going to depict in my lecture, and anyone is not in position to understand what I want to say. तो इसीलिए तुलसीदास ने कहा इस कलयुग में वही बात है, गुरु शिष्य बधिर अंध कर लेखा, एक न सुनहि एक नहीं देखा. So we have to arouse curiosity among the students to understand the real meaning of literature. the real meaning of the portions which you have to teach in literature. And if you don't know literature, if you are not interested in reading novels, reading poetry, reading dramas, you are like an animal. It is said in our Niti Shastra, Sahitya Sangeeta Kala Bhina Sakshat Pasu Puchha Vishani. You are
Yes.
an animal, but you have no tail. You are not a proper animal also if you have never studied Sahitya, Sangeet and Kala. So it is necessary to have a real meaning of literature. And I request all the teachers, though you are teaching science, nowadays it is a fashion that most of the writers came from science community. They were the students of science. They completed their BTech, MTech, but they took interest in literature. And now many books are there, which were written by scientists. Why? Because they took interest in literature and they understand, they enhance their imagination, creativity. They understand the moral and ethical values of the literature. And this is why literature is very important and it is the mirror of our society. We must understand that we can do any work with plural effort. Sangadadhvam, sambadadhvam, samno manansi janatam. We can't do anything alone. When we study Ernest Hemingway, we find that he has presented the pessimistic philosophy in the beginning. We find his pessimism. And even a child comes and teaches him, try to work hard. A day will come when you will get the result. So you are all the teachers. You are teaching students. Sometimes students teach you. So you must listen to them, what they are saying. Because you are a teacher means not you have only ability to teach. You must learn something from children also. And this lesson we get from The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. That even a child comes and says, oh, you worked hard. You have pessimistic approach. You are just going to stop your work. No, do not stop. A day will come when will you get your result. And the same thing happens. And that pessimism, the pessimistic philosophy comes in turn of optimism. So we must learn from the child. This is why it is said that child is the father of nation. When we talk about symbols and imagery in the vegetarian in the novel, we find her attempt to control over her own body. And we also find the patriarchal oppressions. You have quoted one line, poetic prose. The style of the writer is very good. Nowadays, people understand, the writers understands that people have lot of work and they have no time to memorize our lessons, memorize our lines. And it was used in the drama in the beginning because drama is presented on the stage and the dialogue is presented by the characters. Sometimes if the characters go on the stage, they forgot what to say. So they changed the style of writing and they wrote prose lines in poetic way because poetry is easier to memorize in comparison to the lines of prose. This is why she has adopted the style of writing poetic prose. And it is the good nature of man that you must tell anything in the form of poetry. It is easy to memorize, it is easy to remember, and it can create a very positive impression in the mind of students. I am just going to quote John Keats and his poetry. He was a born poet. और आपको हंसी आएगी मैं उनकी कहानी सुनाऊंगा तो. He was a boy of 5 years old and he always speaks in the form of poems. Even the general statements are rhythmical, musical. So his father says, "Oh, you must stop telling anything in the form of poetry. Otherwise, I will start beating you." जॉन कीट्स के फादर बोले, 5 साल के बच्चे हो और हर बात कविता में बोलते हो. उसका जवाब भी उसने कविता में ही दिया. फादर फादर मर्सी टेक वर्सेस आई विल नेवर मेक. फादर फादर मर्सी टेक verses I will never make. So he was a born poet. And why this writer adopted the style of poetic prose? Because poetic lines are easier to remember than the lines of prose. And I have quoted here John Keats, that a boy of 5 years old is just going to reply his father in the form of poetry. Father, father, mercy take, verses I will never make. So what we find?
Dhiren sir, sorry to interrupt in between. Sir, you have 2 minutes to conclude. We have time constraints.
Okay. And in the vegetarian, we find the symbol of plants also. You know, plant is associated with nature. And nature is our father and mother. It works like a guardian. When we are going to quote William Wordsworth, we find that nature gives everything to us. And people are just living the love of nature. So we find that the writer has just taught us to love nature in your life. And a day will come when nature helps you much more. So this lecture series is really interesting. And I just got call. And what I know, I have delivered before you regarding these 2 books and these 2 authors. I hope this type of lecture series must be scheduled in future by International Hindu School, and it will be really beneficial to all. What I know, I have delivered before you, and finally I say, कभी तो विवेक एक नहीं मोरे, सत्य कहूं लिखी कागज कोरे. Thank you to all who listens me carefully. Pranam.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring and enlightening words.
Stella, give me 1 minute because I joined late and I apologize for my late answer joining of the session. Already, Dr. Dhiren, already I had spoken a lot about you to our respected president, sir, about your this particular skill and the way you elaborated what is literature and why should we read literature. Definitely, this is very wonderful interpretation and explanation of the literature. And we all are very, now, not only me, because the other the subject teachers, they are also here. Everybody enjoyed this interpretation. Thank you. Over to you, Stella.
Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring and enlightening words.
Yes, President sir wants to say something. Let him speak.
Yes, sir.
President sir wants to say
I
something.
was going to invite him for his valuable comments. Yes, sir. Please.
Yes. I have met a true scholar today. Congratulations to your father and mother who gave you such a wonderful mind and your character and your interest. I just want to touch a few points. Reading is very important. Extra books. I want Professor Pandey to know that we have a tradition in our school that the primary and middle school children are supposed to read 1 book every week. Nothing to do with textbook. because you cannot know everything by reading one textbook. I just want to give some examples of the things which were mentioned by Mr. Malviya and Mr. Pandey. He talked about national trauma. We are feeling the national trauma of partition. Every Indian who lived through 1947 is feeling the trauma. But I want to tell you something very interesting. Salman Rushdie, you remember him, Satanic Verses? He wrote, and they shot him. He is blind in one eye because of that injury. So he lives in England. And he mentioned to somebody recently that his two sons went through English schools throughout the career, throughout the study, and there was not one word of the British Empire. No history was taught of British Empire to any of the students throughout England. Can you imagine that? The empire which used to brag, sun never sets on the British Empire. So it's the national trauma. The British have subconsciously come to realize that it was not right what they did as a colonial power. And so they don't want to teach their children about this. But there is another quote I want to take from you two gentlemen. You mentioned literature teaches you what to do and what not to do. Yes. And I think all our teachers know, I want to share with Professor Dhiren Kumar Pandey that we are working on bringing Mahabharat, Sampurn Mahabharat, to YouTube. And I'm reciting, and then it's translated in English. And it's being read throughout the world in many countries. And it is being propagated as a history of human race. Don't consider that to be a history of India, because India, whatever they were doing, the rest of them, they were just digging ditches. So that will teach you. In the present scenario, you see what they are doing, the politicians, the state politics between countries, how they're dealing with each other. It's all reflection of Mahabharata. It's being repeated. So they say, if you don't study history, it will repeat itself. So we hope that it will teach something. You mentioned about the teachers, that they don't know alphabet, swar and vyanjan, and they want to teach language. So this is very sad state of affairs. In international Hindu school, we don't believe any degree you take, because degrees you can buy now. You can give some money and you'll get a piece of paper. So we test our own teachers. So to be appointed at International Hindu School is truly a recognition of your knowledge. So all those teachers here, I'm so happy that our audience reached 70. He almost got 100%. I don't know how many we have, but 70. Huh?
Yes, it is 75, but we reached to the 70.
Yeah,
yes,
we missed the 5. The 5 who missed, they really missed a very good time. So we should consider very fortunate to have these teachers with us, and these teachers should consider a great fortune that they are teaching at International Hindu School. Somebody said, I want to mention we are talking about literature. Somebody asked me, what is the best book you can read? Now, all of you could imagine, I'll give you 10 seconds. Think of the best book you can read. Okay, you can write down your answers on the piece of paper in front of me, but I can tell you the best book you can read are Upanishads. There is nothing to beat Upanishad because it talks about the truth, and there is nothing which can beat the truth. Whatever you read, rest of it is Jagat Mithya. So the best book to read, and it gives you the best pleasure. You mentioned that you get pleasure by reading literature. You get very good pleasure by reading the Upanishad.
Upanishad.
I want to say that poetry, you mentioned, poetry is better than prose. Singing, we have our music teacher here. Our Upanishad says that literature is okay, kavya is okay, but music is the best, most influential. And out of that music, Ucharan of Om, that is the best. So there is a gradation given in the Upanishads. You talk about a Mahakavya. Our Mahabharat is the biggest Mahakavya. There is nobody else. Even if you look at the Greek people, they have written, oh, we wrote a very big book. But our Mahabharat has 1 lakh shlokas. 1 lakh only on the earth. The rest of them are in the other planets. This is what it says. The full Mahabharata is not available for us. So I just want to congratulate Prashant Malvi. You held on to this lecture, an appointment, and I'm happy that you persisted, and we had such a wonderful time. Remind me, when I come to Varanasi, we should have a dinner with all the Nobel laureate professors who spoke for this series. We'll have a good time, and it will be an evening to remember. All the intellectuals. Wonderful. And the conversation will be very precious. Thank you very much.
We look forward to that gathering, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Pranam.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
let's dance, Stella. Stella, please give the final comment.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to invite Honorable Principal, sir, for vote of thanks.
To me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, it's really very the wonderful opportunity for me to give my vote of thanks to my younger brother, Dr. Pandey. He is really that person. We met, I think, 2015 or 16. Till that time, he not only respect me, but I don't know that I am elder or he is elder, but we respect each other. And definitely due to because his this wisdom, the knowledge which he carries, definitely it is very unparalleled. And I am to give my special thanks to Prashant Malvi that he brought him on this particular platform for this particular region. And the people, those who are really today, those who missed this particular opportunity, they missed something. So definitely, I encourage my every now teachers, those who are here. This type of lecture or this type of series is not going to be only time pass. If you people are going to collect, so definitely you people are going to gather something from here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this particular now reason to collect on this platform. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam, sir.
Let's end this meeting. And it was really a wonderful gathering on this online platform. Rashmi ma'am also gave a positive comment that she enjoyed heavily. It was worth listening our chief guest. I don't want to extend more into the words. There are so many things to speak about it. It was really a wonderful session to have among us, Dr. Pandey. You're truly a gem. That's all from my side.
No, no. Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Can you, shall we wind up this meeting, sir?